Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless it's your first time here, then welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. You're beautiful, just so you know. If you've been in my channel before, you probably know that usually we don't have the types of videos where we're just talking the entire time about something specific and not playing with makeup. So today's gonna be a little bit different of a video. As you can see from the title, I am explaining to you why it is that I am returning my Morphe Jaclyn Hill The Master Collection brush set. And let me start off by saying that I have absolutely nothing against Jaclyn Hill and I have absolutely nothing against Morphe. In fact, I love both of them. Morphe puts out some really great products and Jaclyn Hill is just Jaclyn Hill. She's just Jaclyn Hill. She's just her own character. You'll have to check her out to really see what I mean. But either way, I just want to make sure that you know that I'm not returning these brushes because of any kind of beef with either one of them. There's no hardcore tea behind it. There's no tea to sip behind it. There's no drama. It's just some preferences of my own and maybe a little bit of a quality issue in my opinion, but it's only my opinion. I could be wrong. So to really show you and help you understand why I am returning this brush collection, let me first tell you about the brush set. This is a 24 brush set. It's a combination of face and eye detail brushes available on the Morphe website and probably a couple of other places that I'm not sure of for $164 unless you use code James for 10% off. And then you get another $16 off on top of that. So the set comes with 8 face brushes and 15 eye brushes or detail brushes, whatever your preference is. And they also come with a case. This is the case. It is very beautiful and it's very interesting in the fact that it opens diagonally and it opens into a box so that you can keep the brushes in it. Honestly, this part, I think this is really cool. I personally do not like the silver glitter like this. I would have preferred it to be, I don't know, maybe black with the white stitching around the edges instead. I don't like blingy, glittery carrying items like bags or brush cases, as an example. If it would have just been a different style or if there would have been a little bit different options, it might have been different for me, but this is definitely what it came in. And at the period in my life I was in whenever I first got these brushes, I had just started really getting into makeup in depth and really figuring out who I was as an artist whenever it came to makeup application. And honestly, I thought I loved watching Jaclyn Hill's videos. I knew that she always had really bomb makeup looks and that a brush set that she made that was 24 pieces, that was only $164, it had to have been really good, right? Most would assume that, I would think. Anyway, so I order them, I start using them. I honestly love them at the very beginning. They provide everything that I need them to. I'm able to get all my makeup done, but I start realizing as I progress as an artist and as I grow to more complicated looks on my eyes that I don't have enough eye brushes or detail brushes. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go through what brushes this brush set comes with and kind of tell you what I use them for, just so you have a clear understanding as to what my use and I guess personality is whenever it comes to using brushes. The first brush in the collection is the JH01. This is a synthetic powder brush and honestly never had any problems with it. It's perfect. It picks up powder, it puts powder down, it can even brush away large amounts of powder. And they're honestly beautiful brushes. I mean, the chrome plastic at the end is very shiny and pretty and luxurious. And it has Jaclyn's initials right there with the white wooden handle, or I think it's wooden. It has Morphe X Jaclyn Hill and then the name of the actual brush that's on it. Now, the only thing that I don't like about these handles is that it seems like from the moment I got them in and every time I washed them or used them or looked at them again, there was another little crack in the brushes. And I'm really careful, like I'm super OCD with brushes and really with all of my stuff. I'm very careful with it because I want it to last a long time. These have probably been through 8 to 10 washes because I wash them every time I use them because I don't want them to stain or be dirty. So for 8 to 10 washes, not putting the handle in the water and only cleaning the end, I just don't think that that's very good quality for it to already be falling apart. And I got these in August also, by the way, of 2018, and it is December of 2018. The next brush is the JH02. This is a bronzer brush and it's natural fibers. Now, one thing that I did not know when I ordered this is that the natural fibers that are in this brush set are goat hair. That's fine. I don't remember the benefits of goat hair and why they chose that, but I wish there would have been a disclaimer that let you know that the brushes will always smell like goat hair. No matter what I do with the natural brushes, no matter how many times I wash them, they still smell like goat hair. So right now, these smell like goat hair. Granted, they smell like brush cleaner a little bit as well, but still, I don't personally enjoy smelling goat every time I put makeup on, you know? Do you? Like, I don't want to visualize a barn when I'm putting makeup on. If anything, I want to visualize like luxury of some kind. Right? I don't know. I just wish I would have known that. And that's my own fault for not researching more and I guess listening if that was discussed. Next is the JH03. This is called the Ride or Die Foundation Brush and it's synthetic. This brush, this is an amazing brush. I will definitely give it that. No matter what foundation I used, it was perfect in blending it out and it didn't absorb too much product. It just, I don't know, it always got me to a flawless finish. It didn't ever get streaky on me or nothing. I had no problems out of this one. And its handle's not cracking either. And next is the JH04. This is the blush brush, synthetic fibers, and I mean it's really just a blush brush. It's not anything super special. It's a nice size for my cheeks because it fits kind of perfect right there. So never really had any problems out of this one either. Then we have the JH05. This one's called the Perfect Contour Brush. It's natural. And this one honestly was a very good contour brush. Like it is kind of the perfect size to really make that perfect contour line, and I'll be sad to part with it. But on the other side, it's cracking, and like I didn't do any of that. I'm not banging it around or anything. I'm super careful. So it's just a shame that something like that's happening. Then there's the JH06. This one is called the My Everything brush. It's also natural. It smells like a barn. Anyway, I get why she calls this the My Everything brush. The main thing I would use it for would be if I wanted to kind of blend out anything that was too harsh on my face, then it was, since it's tapered on the side, it was nice to kind of just get on there and blend out, or I could flip it over and drag something out, or I could use it for powder in spot areas, like on the wrinkles on my forehead. So it really kind of is an everything sort of brush, but I kind of feel like it's one of those, she couldn't really think of the name for it, for like where it was going to be used for, so she just called it the My Everything brush. Next is the JH07. This is a synthetic brush and it's called the Under Eye Powder Brush. That is exactly what I used it for, and that is exactly what it's perfect for. I mean, it's that perfect size to just get right under there. This one is another one that I will miss for sure. Now we have the JH08. This is called the Anything Creamy brush, and it's synthetic, which that's a perfect name for it because it's just that perfect size and density after you put on your concealer. It's perfect to blend it out under your eyes or on your forehead, nose, and chin. It's also perfect for eyeshadow base because it's just that perfect eyelid size to be able to dab it on and tap it out and blend it into the skin perfectly. Next is the JH09. This is the Glow Baby Glow brush, and it's natural, and it is a really nice highlighter brush. I mean, it's tapered just the right way to be that perfect highlight blending brush. It's really nice. And last for the face brushes is the JH10. This is the Snatch Your Edges brush, and it's synthetic. I never used this brush. Now that I'm looking at it, I could have probably used it for nose contour. I don't know why I never tried to use it for nose contour. I just already had a brush that I used specifically for that, so I kind of stuck with it. And that's the end of the face brushes. I never really had too much of a problem with most of the face brushes because they all provided for me what I needed them for, so I never really had any issues with those specifically. And now we get into the eye brushes. These are where I personally had a problem eventually. I didn't know I was going to, I didn't know that I did until I got a little more evolved and practiced really. And that's my own personal dilemma, honestly. Now the first brush is the JH30. This is called the Beast Mode Blender brush, and it's natural, and it definitely is that. It's just a big, kind of tapered, fluffy blending brush, and it was pretty perfect on being able to blend out a base coat everywhere, all over the lid or all over the eye. And I didn't really have too many problems out of this brush because it was kind of a good size to be able to put the color down everywhere. Next, the JH31. It's a fluffy blender brush, and this one is natural. This is where I start running into a problem. I never thought about this before I ordered it, and I was probably caught up in the appeal of it being Jaclyn Hill and it being the Master Collection. So it was just, I don't know, it was exciting. But I never really thought about the fact that white bristles on an eyeshadow brush aren't a good idea for me. I don't like stained brushes. I get kind of OCD whenever I see them dirty or stained, so I clean them. White bristles stain easier than black bristles. So that was one thing that I really didn't like. I had to be really, really careful, and I still couldn't avoid it completely on the staining part. And the second part is that these bristles on these brushes like this, the moment I washed it the first time, all of the bristles that did go up and in went up and out after that. And there was nothing I could do to get them back. Every time I would wash them, I would try to put something around the brush hair to keep it solidified, like to keep it tightened around it. So I did the best I could to make it last as long as I could. It didn't really help. Next is the JH32. This is the Transition Blender brush, and it's natural as well. It's a little bit longer of a blending brush and a little more concise in its aim. It's not as fluffy. So it was really good on getting just in the crease and creating that really nice transition spot, that shade. But also the same thing, it started fraying on the edges, so whenever you go to put the color into just the crease and try to get that good transition, the bristles on the outside start putting color up too high and too low, so it starts making a bigger spot of color than you actually wanted to be there. Next is the JH33. This is the Universal Blender brush, and it's natural. This is a pretty decent blending brush. It's more flat than it is round, so it's really good for getting in the crease. And if you just want to put shadow on your lid or on your upper crease, I guess, then you can kind of aim and be a little bit more concise with it. But again, this is one of the ones that I have that are stained, and no matter how many times I washed it gently, it wouldn't come clean all the way. So that was one thing to deal with. And then secondly, the edges of the bristles started fraying as well, so it would start putting color where it wasn't supposed to be putting color because it was too big. Next is the JH34. This is the Carve Your Crease brush, and it's natural. This is almost just like the Universal Blender brush right before it, except it's a little thinner, so you can get kind of more concise and actually carve your crease. Now the only problem I have with that is that if you want a really good cut crease and you want that sharp, clean line, you're not gonna get that with this. You're gonna be able to fill in the color, and you could cut your crease just with a shadow, but not if you were gonna do a clean cut crease. If you were just gonna add some color to the lid and make it look like a cut crease, this would get that job done. But it also started doing the fraying on the edges so that it started going out more. This one I was actually able to kind of bring back in after it started to fray, and what I also do is I pull out the excess hairs. I was trying to see if I had one, but I think I pulled them all out. There would randomly be hairs that would be longer than the rest that I'd have to pull out, and sometimes they would actually be like stuck in the brush still, so I'd have to pull really hard to like pull it out so that there wouldn't be a stray hair anymore. Next is the JH35. This is the upper crease brush, and it's natural hairs. This one is the flattest of those three blending brushes. It's a good one to pack on the color, but it also is white. So if you want to get any vibrant colors, you're just gonna have to worry about the possibility of it staining. Next is the JH36. This is the eye buffer brush. This is the eye buffer brush, and it has natural fibers as well. This one, with it being flat at the top, I don't know if it was just the bristles or if it was because it was so flat, but it and every other black brush that's in this set would start hurting my eyelids as I was blending the shadow out, and I don't feel like that's supposed to happen. Like, it would actually start like scratching my eye, it felt like, and it would get irritated. But either way, I couldn't quite nail down the usefulness of this brush personally, because all of the flat brushes did the job, honestly, these brushes that are like this were just like the backups, because almost every look I would run out of brushes and have to go back to my old brushes so that I could finish the whole look with those. Next is the JH37. This is the buffer blender brush, and it's natural. This one was actually a good one to go around the edges of a transition shade and blend two colors together. Like if you were trying to blow out a color and you wanted it to mix into another one, this was a good brush to do that with, as long as you stayed just in that general area, because it's so small and it's flat that it was able to kind of just be in that spot. But again, it was just kind of acting as a backup. Then we have the JH38. It's called the Perfect Pencil Brush, and it's natural bristles. Now with this brush, with a pencil brush in general, typically I'm using a pencil brush whenever I put on eyeliner, like all over my lid, or if I put eyeliner on my bottom lash line and I want to buff it out, this is the brush I would use, and it's white bristled. So I only used this one time for what I would like to use it for. I would always improvise with the black brushes instead, just so I could avoid using these white bristles on a black eyeliner, because I didn't want it to be ruined with the color. Not only that, but from what use I did get out of it, the edges, I don't know if you can see it because it's so small, but the edges started fraying, but they frayed more than any other brush in the whole set, because they went all the way down and backwards and started facing the other direction. And that's just insane to me. That's a little too much in my opinion. Next is the JH39. This is the inner corner highlight brush, and it's synthetic. Now with this one, I don't know, it was so small that for me it really didn't do a great job as an inner corner highlight, because I wanted more color than what it would apply. So usually I would end up just having to dip in over and over and over again, and it was just easier to use another brush I'm going to show you for that purpose instead. But with this being one of the smallest brushes, if you want to do any kind of design work with a cut crease and make something look intricate, this is one of the only ones that you're gonna have to be able to use. Every other brush in this set is made to blow out color or to blend color into another color. Next is the JH40. This is the Precise Blender brush, and that really is exactly what it is. I mean, for any smaller areas that you needed to do blend work, it would work. So if you did a cut crease where you actually cut the crease with concealer, this was an okay brush to pack the color onto the lid if you were packing color on the lid. So I'll give it that. Now the JH41, this is an all over lid brush, and it's a blend of synthetic and natural. And it's a blend of synthetic and natural. Now typically I would try to use this one to cut the crease with, because it was the flattest, cleanest edge brush I could use. Jaclyn says in the Jack talk, whenever she's explaining the brushes on the description for the whole set, she says that you can use this for really anything to do with the lid, so like putting on glitters or cream to actually cut the crease. So I was thinking originally that it was going to be able to make like a really sharp line, and it even looks like it would do that, but whenever you put cream on this, these bristles won't lay flat evenly. No matter what I did, they wouldn't make a straight line and be a clean edge. It was almost like they weren't cut to be a clean edge, which made it really hard to do an even clean cut crease with it, because the tool itself wasn't a clean cut. Now every time I would use it to try and apply shadow on the lid, typically since it's such a dense brush, it wouldn't hold on to very much eyeshadow because it was so dense that none of the shadow could really get in the bristles. So you'd get one swipe out of it and then there would be no more on it. So there was a lot of going back into the pan and putting it back on, back into the pan, putting it back on. And it was just a matter of not having like a whole lot of usability for me anyway. Even though I used it all the time, I didn't like using it all the time because it kept creating situations that I had to fix. Now we have the JH42. This is the brow bone highlight brush. It's natural bristles and it could definitely be used as that for sure. It is a really good brow bone highlight brush, but it makes a better cut crease brush than the JH41 because this edge is super clean, and to get right here in this inner corner and to cut that line out that starts right there, This brush is perfect to do that with, but this one's supposed to be. Don't know, that's just me, but I feel like a different collection is a better fit in those instances because this doesn't seem like it's made for the right kind of detail work. And last but not least, we have the JH43. This is an eyeliner smudge brush. So it's another version of the pencil brush. Not really. It's the flat version of the pencil brush. This is what you're actually supposed to use to smudge out the eyeliner on like the lower lash line or the upper lash line, which it is really great at that. It's super thin and flat. But what I ended up using it for more than anything else was whenever I would do a cut crease, I would pack the shadow on this and push it onto my lid rather than using this brush because it was a cleaner line and it was a little more concise for me. But I would also use it to smoke out any eyeshadow that I would put on the lower lash line if I wasn't gonna buff it out with another color. And that's all the eye brushes. So the main dilemma I would have, or the main dilemmas I would have, is that all of these brushes are meant for blending out color on the eyelid. That's a lot of brushes just to blend out color on the eyelid. These are the brushes for detail work. And if you only use them for their intended purposes, brow bone highlight, eyeliner brush. You have 3 left to do detail work with. You can't detail anything with these 3 brushes. You can blend out color all day long, so you can make a smoky eye forever and ever, but you're never gonna cut a crease. And for me, that is why this brush set is not a good brush set for me and why I am returning it. I didn't know when I ordered it that it wasn't going to fit my needs the way that I needed it to. I would say if you aren't going to do any real detail work on your eyes ever, then this is a perfect brush set. If you don't mind that kind of weird smell all the time and chipping wood, it is still a good brush set because I have enjoyed it sometimes. Most of the time. I've enjoyed it most of the time. It's just the fact that it's not built for detailed artistry. It's meant for a full glam face like Jaclyn Hill. And that makes sense. She made it. It was created for her in her image. So I could see why that's its general purpose. And now that other artists have made their own brush sets and I've really had a chance to see what the kind of diversity is in the different styles of brush needs, I understand now that I'm just not this kind of guy. I'm a different kind of guy. So we can really just close the box on that one. No, but really. So you get the idea. I mean, all in all, I don't have a problem with Jaclyn Hill. I don't have a problem with Morphe. Just the brushes getting frayed a lot faster than I anticipated them fraying. The smell that some of them have is not something I enjoy. And the set itself is not focused around intricate, detailed artistry on the eye. It's more so focused on a full glam kind of look, in my opinion. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and hearing my reason why I am returning my Morphe x Jaclyn Hill Master Collection brush set. And I hope that some of you, if you have it, that you enjoy it and it's perfect for you. It's just not for me. And that really concludes the end of this video so that I can go ahead and ship these off back to Morphe. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Everything is all the same username. It's just at ChristopherJMUA. I'm still running my giveaway for the Morphe x James Charles palette, so don't forget to enter that. I'll leave the details in the description box down below. And if you've been here before, I hope you know by now. And if you haven't been here before, let me tell you right now, always remember and never forget that you're beautiful. Bye. Hey, you're still here, and there's a circle right here in the middle that has my picture in it. If you tap that or click that, that's how you subscribe to me. And in the meantime, after you do that, these 2 boxes here are each different videos. Go ahead and click one of those and you can watch another video of mine if you want to.